Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I'm your host, Brandon.
And Justin.
And today we will be starting book 2 of the Licanius trilogy, The Echo of Things to Come.
Yes.
I believe is the name of the book.
An echo of something.
Do what?
It's an echo of something.
Yes. We enjoyed the first one enough to continue. So we're going to have a great discussion on the first quarter of this book. And I'll put this at the beginning. The second episode of this, we're going to go from chapter 12. And let's go to... you want to do 20... You want to read through 22 or you want to read through 23?
Either one works. That's 10 or 11 chapters. So, fine either way.
Let's read through chapter 22. So we're going to do from chapter 12 through chapter 22.
Stop at 23.
Yes. When you get to chapter 23, stop.
Or just read ahead.
Or just read ahead like Justin does and spoil the next two chapters.
Yeah. Got wires crossed there.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right, before we get into our discussion, we are sponsored by a Louisiana small business that sells men's grooming products, specifically products that help the hairs on your face, whether you want to keep them or you want to remove them. So if you want to keep them, he sells, I highly recommend using the wash and the conditioner and the balm and the oil, but he also sells butters for it. If you do not keep your facial hair, he also sells shaving creams, and they all come in a variety of scents and fragrances. And if you don't want to use either of those products, he also has colognes and candles. So go ahead and visit his website, mudcatwhiskers.com. Use code Paperweights at checkout, and you're going to save yourself 15%. You're also going to help support a small business that puts his profits back into the classrooms where he teaches STEM and robotics. So you can help out his classroom. So yay for helping kids learn technology and be future-proof.
Yes.
All right. Justin, how are you feeling about our group of characters here?
I'm enjoying it. We've gotten more revelations than we did basically all book one. Kind of starting to understand, for the most part, what this book's about. And I'm enjoying it. I like all the characters. They continue to be good. Just kind of sifting my way through what's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel I know things happen with I think Weir had the least amount of stuff in this one, and I know things happen with Asha and things happen with Davian, but it really felt like I just read 200 pages of Talcamar remembering.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
It is weird that he's like the main character, and he wasn't really the main character of book one. We start off with Davian and then Weir, and then we get Caden or Talcamar or Arkandavade. He starts doing stuff later, but it's this is really his story, unless something drastically changes in this book and next book. It was a really interesting way to introduce the main character. That's
Hey,
kind of a tertiary
you
character.
you cannot you cannot already write out the possibility of it being a bootstrap paradox where you know Takamar and Davian are in fact the same person and
Yeah,
they're trying to stop this cycle. I mean, it already feels like it's a cycle.
yeah,
We've gotten hints and it's flat out stated several times that Talcamar has been on on the on either side of the aisle of this conflict several different times.
yeah. And
And
I'm pretty sure Takamaru is Malshesh from book one.
yes, I would agree with that.
That's seems almost confirmed, especially with the
The
flashbacks basically
flashback of his wife.
lining up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wanted
yes,
to go back and look. I even made a note to go back and read this before we recorded, but I didn't do that. Because
yeah.
why? Why would I do that, Justin?
I looked into it. I don't remember exactly, but it lines up pretty well because I think he even mentions
I think he mentions
uh,
her name, L.
yeah, and Nagath or whatever, like the
Nath,
Ath or whatever.
yeah, Nathril.
Neth, yeah.
I have it here.
Nethgala, the Ath.
Nathgala, the
He's
Ath.
like he's like that's how I got my state shifting powers or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so stuff's starting to come together. Uh, which also we can get into it. I'm struggling right now with Weir and Asha's story, mainly Weir, and like his relevance to this storyline. But we can get into it as we continue this discussion. Um, but what is you have any more general thoughts?
Um, no, like I, I'll save that for that section. Let me write that down. I'll save that note. No, overall, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
It's really you could really see just like Pierce Brown, you could really see the improvements in his writing from book one to book two.
yeah,
Um, and just it starts to break away from what felt like derivative fantasy
yeah,
and starts to become its own thing at this point. So
yeah. But you can still feel the
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 influence is there,
influences.
yeah,
Yeah, like the Venerate and the Forsaken are pretty
and vessels and
yeah, but like it's not a big deal.
yeah.
It really wasn't in the first book. It was just kind of the way it was. If you
I
think
mean, the
about it,
first like 100 pages, I was like, what,
yeah,
where are we going? Like,
yeah.
get, are we going to have
Towards
the
the
Wheel of
end,
Time told in 3 books?
yeah, towards the end, it started to differentiate itself, especially with the time travel
Yeah.
nonsense. But yeah, if you want, we can go into a brief summary. I have a section by characters concerning none of our four main characters meet each other this section. I'm just going to start off with Davian. So he's in Toshin with Ishali, who is not one of the Venerant, but has her name is very similar to that one. Did you see that? Uh,
Okay, so her name is Shell, right? And then
Ishali, and then there's Ishalar or Ilalar.
Isiliar.
Isilia. So I was
Yeah.
like, wait, is it supposed to be like are they gonna do like a Lanfear type thing? But no, Ilalar is somebody different. But it was kind of fun.
Okay.
They've been training magic. They're doing like crazy like shields and time travel bullshit. Um, so time has passed. There's been an augur amnesty set up because they figured out pretty easily that there was augurs are back. So it's basically if you go under our control, you can live. Um, there's still kind of no word from the barrier, and he's getting kind of annoyed by that because he's like, the barrier's falling. We know this. There's a really cool scene where he threatens the elder by like time walking behind him and being like, I don't need your protection or whatever. It was really badass. So yeah, Davian's leveled up. He became pretty powerful. He's kind of doing stuff. Big thing happens. He goes into the town, um, and he meets kind of the street vendor, and he talks with her for a little bit. And then when he returns by her, she doesn't have any recollection of him, and he's like, "Oh shit, she's been controlled by an augur." So then he goes back and finds this dude, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And the guy's like, "Ha ha ha, it's a trap," and he gets knocked unconscious. That's kind of his entire thing. I My prediction, if you just want to do that, is that it's one of the Shadrahin's people, but we'll see.
I could see that.
Another minor thing. There's another. They found another augur, Rohin, but he doesn't really have any screen time. And there's kind of little romantic tinges between Davian and Ishali, but nothing comes of that so far.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna say Talcumar for last because other shit happens there with them. Uh, we got Asha. She's in at Tolathian. She's kind of her status is weird, but she's got a couple of like noble benefactors. Weir is now North Warden, and he's having political troubles because he's changed the tenants and all that stuff. And basically, the sanctuary is empty of all the shadows. They somehow just disappeared. So she's trying to figure out that.
Did
And
we
she's
know
been.
that? Like, did we see that in the end of book
I don't think so.
one? Because I know the Shadraheen left.
Yeah, I think like one day the rest of them just vanished. She said like there was children and stuff, and like they all gone. They're like so teleportation or weird time travel. Who knows? Um. Also, she has been passing out frequently. And we find out that other shadows have been passing out at the same time, so something's going on with the shadows. But yeah, she's sneaking into the sanctuary using the invisibility cloak. Um, Forget the actual name of it. It's the invisibility cloak,
It's the veil.
the veil, which is against the rules and could trigger a scandal. Um, but yeah, the big thing happens is she goes into the sanctuary. She sees two people, a Shateth and the lady, which is
Isiliar,
they are Takumar's wife, resurrected wife.
no,
I'm pretty sure they're the same person.
it's it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Uh, Maybe they're not. That's what I got from it.
I I didn't get that.
Okay. Well, I got that they're the same person. Maybe I jumped the gun or found a connection that isn't there or is there. We'll see. But yeah, she's crazy. Um, they're like doing shit. Um, and the Shateth is Valerie, I guess. Fantasy spelling of Valerie. And that is the Shateth that the Shateth from the first book told Asha, when the time comes, don't let her suffer. So we meet this Shateth. So weird time travel stuff. Um, yeah, there's some talk about Talcamar and him gonna like cause the end of the world and shit. Um, Kind of vague, cool stuff that gets your mind flowing. Then a child echo comes and it's like, "Hey, Alaris," which we learn is another Venerate, is waiting for her. And that Talcamar stored knowing within Ishalar, which we don't know what knowing is, but he says that. So there's something weird shit with that. And also, there's vague talk of Asha and like Talcamar somehow protecting her, and that if they can kill her, they can do that. Um, but like, don't go out of your way to kill her. But if you can't kill her, do it. Then the child Echo goes into the catacombs, and Asha follows. There's a lot of creepy shit with like her almost getting caught by this like little demon child. and she's hopelessly lost. Like he turns off the lights and like runs away. It's really creepy. And she like crouches down and in her little invisibility cloak, and she's gonna wait for a passerby to come to follow. That's kind of her storyline.
She's stuck in the
Stuck
darkness.
in the darkness. Then we have Weir. So he's down the North Warden. He's having a lot of problems with administration because
I think you
they.
already went over Weir.
I said a little bit of the
Okay.
stuff. I kind
Okay.
of to make sense of Asha's storyline, you need a little bit of weird stuff.
Okay.
Uh, we get we meet Priya, who's like his like second in command, and she's kind of undermining him. There's a lot of like administration politics that is mildly interesting. Uh, we meet his bodyguard, Andrin, right? Something like that. Yeah, Andin,
And yeah, Andon.
Andin, who seems cool. He does not die, but he almost dies. There's a secret romance with continuing with Dizia. Um, so there's that. Basically, the big thing culminates with him. He goes to a dinner date with Iria, who's like the daughter of this important noble rich dude. Uh, and basically, there's an assassination attempt. It's a trap. His bodyguard gets shot in the chest with a crossbow. It's all bad, but then they start like turning on each other and like killing. Like the assassins start turning on each other and like killing each other. And Skriner comes out and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I saved your life because we're gonna work together." And there's a lot of and like I know you're looking at because big thing is weird is looking into where all like if we can't make the vessels to like have like the little wrist things like we no one can make vessels with because we don't know how to manipulate Khan because we learned last time like where exactly did they come from? They just like appeared out of nowhere 20 years ago or whatever, some timey-wimey shit. So he's been looking into that and he's like, hey, there's
You need
like
to
a
find a
thing.
lane, right?
Yeah,
To
yes,
make the vessels.
yes. Spoiler alert. Um, yeah, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna be working together and stuff. Hey, also, here's a clue. You should go to your father's estate and like check behind this like trap door, and you're gonna like find some shit out." And he's like, "This is crazy, and I shouldn't trust you, but I'm gonna go do that." So he like talks to his uncle, who has gotten returned to his senses from being controlled by augurs. And he's gonna go to the estate, see his mother and his brother, and that's kind of where he leaves off.
He conveniently gets sent there by his uncle, which is
Yeah,
where he needed to go. That signer told him to go check.
yeah, he kind of drops some hints. But yeah, that's kind of his storyline. Um, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, we do get a mention from a Desrian ambassador that there was a like spy magic user in the ranks of like crossing the border or whatever that seemed like surprised at his like he got detected and killed a bunch of people. So maybe a venerant, maybe something just it was that was a hint of something. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But we don't really find out anything about that. All right. You got anything you want to talk to about there, or we'll just go with Takumar?
Yeah,
Okay.
just go through a summary of Takumar, then we can talk about each.
All right. So Takamar is chilling in like a basically a demi plane with Asar, who is a venerant. Uh, we learn kind of a lot of stuff. We learn about Shamaloth, which is like the devil. We learn the names of all the venerants. So we got Cassandrid, Alaris, Seer, Ilar, Andral, Diarrhea,
Tiara,
Melodir.
not diarrhea.
Diara, Melodir, Reth, and Tis. I guess that's what's
Wereth sounds like weird.
Wereth. Yeah,
Wereth. Werrethth.
yeah. So We do find out that Tiss is dead. She took
Yeah.
the long death. So yeah, he's like, hey, you told me to like give you back your memories, but only specific ones, so you can like be a better person or whatever. So we're gonna do that. And he's like, I need answers. And he's like, it's you have thousands of years of information. It would take too long. We're gonna do brain surgery on you. And he's like, God damn it. All right, fine. Uh, reiterate that he has a year and a day to have a way to free the Lith, or else like Licanius goes back to him and weird shit happens. Which is I guess the fire dudes from the last book. We don't really know too much about them. Let's see. We get some cool memories. We get his first meeting with
We
Cassandra.
know so we do know that the Lith are made of essence and they are bound by the law of of decay.
Yes.
And then we get more information about the law of decay. But that's basically like we don't know too much, but we know that they are
Well, we
creatures
know
made of
the
essence.
law of decay needs it needs like a vessel.
Or it's going to be yeah.
Essence goes away if it doesn't have a vessel. Which is what he says.
And it
Uh,
only supposedly only erodes because the existence of Khan.
yeah, and we find out that Khan is basically the magic of the dark plane. There's basically like the light plane and the dark plane. Dark plane is Shamalith and all like the shot tests, maybe not shot tests, because we don't really know how they're made, but all the crazy shit. And then there's like where we are in this realm, which is made by L, and that has Essence, and the other place has Khan. So yeah, we have a cool first meeting with the Cassandrid where they first meet and they talk about like faith and stuff and if they're gods or not. Uh, yeah, yes. We get a thing that may or may not be true where they say that Shamloth is the one that created fate. So there's only one timeline, and they want to try to break that. And L kind of is trapped away, and he created the immortals. Could be reversed, but because they got like trade. But that's kind of what they talk about there. Let's see. Yeah, that was a cool little flashback. Then he's like pops back up. It's been a while, and there's like this lady here that looks exactly like his wife. And he's like, "Oh no, my wife."
My
Uh,
life.
and she's like, "What's up?" And then she stabs Asar with Licanius because he's like, "That's not your wife. It's a devil." Um, and then they flee through a portal. He gets back Licanius and takes Asar. Asar dies. Rip Asar. But he's like, "Be good." Um, then he has another meeting where he meets Andral. We learn that Andral uh, created Licanius and more 5 swords. So we got four more cool swords. And we learn that Tis is dead and Licanius can kill them, kill the immortals. And he says, and Andral says that they're going to save the world by ridding the world of Khan, thereby being able to seal the portal. Very real time. Shao the rift will close, and the dark one will be sealed away. Um, so that's kind of his plan. Um,
And
uh,
Takamar realizes that that means they can no longer exist.
yes. Then wakes up. He's somewhere, maybe behind the rift. I don't know. It doesn't really. But there's like a blighted land with 5 pillars that like drain essence and crazy shit. And he like pushes through it, and there's like a man in this like coffin that he like wakes up, and he like passes out.
That was really weird,
Yeah, it was really
but
weird.
it was cool
Uh,
as shit.
yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I don't think they say exactly. We don't really know exactly where it is. I'm guessing it's probably behind the barrier, but we don't really know. Then he wakes up, and let's see. Uh, Yeah, we get a flashback of like him and his like dead wife returning, Takuma has been like killing night monsters and shit, making money and just drinking. Uh, where he eventually learns the truth that she is in fact Nethgala, the Ath, citizen of Mar Kotham of the Darklands. So get some more Darkland shit, and that he made a gateway for her by basically killing all of those like hundreds of people. She was able to like uh form into the world and become an echo of his wife. And doing so, she got all of his memories or her memories, and she loves him and everything. And he's like, you're not my wife, because if she knew what I did, she would not forgive me.
The what I got from that is the Ath are basically the scrolls from Marvel,
Yeah. Yeah. Um. I
the
just I
body snatchers.
Yeah, I think they're all just kind of. I think this is just what the Echoes are just members of the Darklands. Like the little kid that is one of these.
Yeah, I mean they take on the appearance and memories of the
Yeah.
people.
So yeah, yeah. And then yeah, he kind of just he kind of wakes up and it's kind of I think he wakes up. But yeah, that's kind of his thing.
Yeah,
We
we
get
don't know if like I mean it doesn't say he returns because like he comes back after one memory and he talks to the dude who like apparently so when he opened the coffin and he touched the guy woke up and he came out and then he put Talcamar in there. And so
yeah,
like Talcamar's stuck in there now. And he comes back and we find out that Talcamar was the one that put the other guy in there to
yeah,
begin with. But then it goes back to the vision and he goes and tells El or the Ath, like, yeah, I know you're not her. And she's like, well, I mean, I can be. I mean, I love you, and she would love you. And he's like, nah, she would have been disgusted with what I did. And the vision is ends with that chapter ends with
yeah,
him walking away out into the forest,
yeah.
being all sad.
So who do you think this guy is? We might as well get a little predictions. I think he's probably Andrew. Oh no, because
He's
Andrew doing stuff. He's probably Cassandra, maybe.
he could be Gazandrid, but really he could be any of the Venerate.
True, definitely a
Um,
Venerate then.
I think it's safe to say he is a Venerate. Which one? It's up in the air.
Well, it's not definitely not Andra because the lady at Isralar or Iliar gets told to like go see him. So
We know Asar's dead.
yeah,
Um,
Tis is dead.
yeah, Tissus, she's dead. Um,
Maybe
yeah,
it's Davian. It's Davian, future Davian, or past Davian.
past Davian, but Davian could be. I mean, Davian could be because we also got the fact that the while the Venerate are immortal, their bodies aren't. So, like, if they
Yeah,
get killed, they'll be like depending on what happens to their body, they could be resurrected into a different body
yeah,
and look different. So, you know, maybe Davian is one of the Venerate.
yeah. It's
Um,
possible.
with his memory is wiped, and like maybe Weir is one of the Venerate as well. Like,
Yeah,
um, maybe Ash is one of the Venerate. Maybe all
yeah.
four of them were Venerates, and it's
I
all
guess
part of
all part of
Talcamar's
the
plan.
plan. Yeah, maybe.
Um,
It makes sense for Asha with how weird they like the Shateth like talk to her and shit like that. It makes sense.
And now I think it's safe to say that the Venerate created the Shateth.
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
we got something in the first book where somebody was saying, yeah, we created the Shateth. And in the first book, I wasn't sure who they or we
Yeah,
were. And I think now it's safe to say that the Venerate created them. But it's still unclear about whether there was is interesting. And now we're just going into talking about the book.
yeah,
And
that's
I
good.
like this is world building, I think.
Yeah,
Talking about stuff where um so after the vision with Cassandra, right? So Cassandra is
mhm,
like explaining things to Talcamar. We
yeah,
find out that Talcamar was the last of the Venerate to accept the fact um, that like the future could be told and that what was going to happen would be true. Like what he was
yeah,
told would happen would be true. He was the last of one, and it seems like Cassandra is the first. Now, I don't know whether Cassandra was actually like 25, 30 years old, like he himself, or if the body he was in was that old. But I
yeah.
felt like Cassandra was like,
It's definitely meant to make you think that he's only 25. This is his first life.
right.
That because that's what Talcomar thinks. So, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Who
but
knows
he
if it's true or not?
when he explains it, he's like Shemaloth is the devil, and he trapped El. But before El was actually trapped, he's like, I'll create the Venerate, and then the
Yeah,
Venerate will bypass fate of predestination,
yeah,
essentially. He doesn't know how he's going to do it, but it's going to happen. And then in the next chapter, it was interesting. Or what was it? Yeah. So that was like in chapter four. And then chapter five, there was a weird part where it's like, yeah, we thought that was L or we
yeah,
thought that was Shamela. So that's where I think you mentioned it before. We get a sense of, maybe the devil was lying and convincing them that they were the good person to make them do the other thing. And so then that's why you have that the um the drops or the hints that they keep switching sides because they don't
yeah,
know which one is which. And
yeah. It seemed to me that I was implying like they were the devil was trying to make them believe that El was trapped away, but it was actually him. So he's trying to get the Venerate to like free him, and that was like they're all gung ho about it. And then Telkamar learned the truth and became Arkham Divide to like beat back his other people, and like it caused a lot of rifts and shit. That's kind of what I got, but it could be also wrong. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Mistborn, where like
yeah,
gods are
I could see
gods are
that.
manipulating people.
Yes, I could see that. I was trying to think of a book. I was trying to think of the book that I was like, what has that been in? Where somebody was like, I'm so and so, you need to free me. And I was like, oh, okay. But
Yeah,
yeah, I like that. I think we also got word that Talcamar killed like all of the Doretians. That was
yeah.
like part of his campaign. Am I remembering that correct?
I think so. He there's a when he's talking with Andral,
Andrail?
he's like blowing up the city. It's pretty cool. So I think that was I don't think I forget if they named the city or not, but yeah, yeah, I think he killed them all.
Yeah, that's when it was because yeah, he was he was blowing them up, and then Andrail came and was like, "Hey, look, I created these vessels, these swords. They're
Yeah,
cool." And he's like, "Watch this!" And he just kills one of the Vener, and he's like, "Whoa, what the hell?" He's like, "Yeah,
yeah,
that's how we're gonna free ourselves." Oh, okay.
yeah,
And this has got to tell so one of the Venerate it's either one of the Venerate or two of the Venerate rather, or maybe it's just one of the Venerate, is the king in the story in the first book that
Mm.
starts to serve that lost the tasks, the three impossible tasks or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so that king is either a Venerate, most likely Talcamar,
Mm.
or those two creatures are El and Shemaloth
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, I can see that.
Those are my predictions on that.
I can see that. I need to go back and read that story. Um,
It's a very Wit or Hoyd like story.
it was, or it just is. Um, but yeah, it's kind of Talcamar. It is kind of, yeah, like you said, he has the majority of the runtime in this little section. Um, very much feels like the main character now, which is interesting. We'll have to see if you know, any of the predictions that our other main characters are Venerate themselves pains out. I don't know. We still got a lot of questions. For as much answers as we kind of got, there's still a lot more questions. Because I love he Talcamar asked Asar like, "Hey man, just tell me what the plan was." And Asar's like, "No one knows but you. You didn't tell anybody." He's like, "Well, shit. All right, guess we'll
That
find
was
out
pretty
later."
funny.
Yeah, he's like, "Literally nobody knows. You're gonna do something. Read book
um,
3."
Before we move away from Talcamar, I mean, we'll probably come back to him. But did you get the sense? I got it. I got like a kind of felt like a connection or a nod to between the five pillars and like the glass columns of Ruidian
I could see that.
type
I mean,
thing.
they did different stuff, but I could see that.
Right. It would be weird if they did the same exact thing, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, but could see the influence of them. Like they're out in the middle of a desert, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or it seems like a desert or a blighted.
Were they made of glass? I don't remember.
No, they were like marble or stone.
Yeah.
Um, do
Yeah.
you remember what chapter that was? There's one of
No.
the
But one of the later ones.
yeah.
Um, but you could search Nagala if you want to find it fast. Yeah. Huh. What do you think the other four swords do? That are not Licanius.
Um, that I don't know.
I don't think we've seen any cool swords. Oh, one thing I do want
We
to.
have seen cool swords.
No, nothing like.
Slayer? Was it called Slayer?
Yeah.
The one that he fucking left in the field?
Yeah, but it didn't have crazy soul killing magic or whatever.
You don't know. They talked about it being a cool looking sword, like a very unique looking sword, and they're like,
Sure.
yeah, you know what? I'll just leave it here in this field out here outside of Desriel. Like, that's a
Yeah.
great place to leave it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
he was
but
scared. He just killed a guy.
speaking of that, do you think that the what's her name?
Brashada?
Rashada, do you think she's one of the
Prob
villains?
most likely. Also, yeah.
Because I did not get this in the book, the first book,
Yeah.
but in the recap at the beginning of the second book, it
Hmm.
stated that she saved Davian as a favor she owed to Arkine Devade. That was not said in
It's
the
not
first book.
explicitly said, but she's like, I owe somebody. But yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but somebody.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it
The summary does kind of spoil some stuff that isn't explicitly said, which is kind of funny. I forget the other thing, but I will say, I wish more books had a previously on like couple pages because it was really nice to read previously on the Licanius trilogy and kind of remember what happened. And yeah, more books should just do that.
Yeah, I
Well,
really liked it too. But when I
yeah,
read, and there was another thing, and I can't remember what it was.
yeah. But
That
I
just
did notice that like Brishada's name came up, so I was like, okay, she's definitely coming back. And it was like highlighted, I think. You see him.
yeah.
Yeah. Or I forget, yeah, but there's a couple other things that are like explicitly just say, hey, this is what happened. Which is funny. Yes. I don't think she says talk around it. That's what's gonna be crazy about this series. Like rereading it is gonna let you know so much more shit. Um, um, but yeah.
Where the
Um,
hell did he go? He started walking.
yes. Uh,
Okay, so
yeah.
it's not there.
But
It's not there.
yeah. I'm
Are you looking in the previously on?
yeah. Um, but I I'm curious if like who Rishada is. Like maybe she's we didn't really get she's definitely some sort of veteran. Um and
Yeah, there's a few like we don't know the genders of most of these anyway.
true. Yeah.
But yet Elle may be alive. Because
The god?
yeah, that came and killed Asar.
Oh. Yeah, she's a like a demon lady.
Yeah.
I I thought she might have been Ilar, but I could be wrong. I probably am. But
I
yeah.
mean it could, but at this point she's the
So
Ath. But
yeah,
if she was the Ath, then she couldn't be. I don't know. That gets funky.
it
Um,
does. But
Also,
maybe how he created her made her immortal. I don't know. Just something in the way she was talking with Asha when Asha overheard her made me think that it was the same person. I could be wrong. Um,
there was also the the coffin had the wolf's head on it too,
yeah.
and then I was looking up the here.
Hmm.
Trying to look at what the columns were made out of. Pillars of a hulking mass of jagged steel and stone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that was against the pillar. That was the coffin that was laid up, but still
Yeah.
straightened the circular stone plateau set amid the columns. Columns, columns, columns. Oh my gosh. Why does it take the
Yeah.
dark mass? Is it before the sense of a structure?
What are you even looking up?
Polished black stone. What
Yeah.
the pillars were made out of.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, they're polished black stone.
Okay, yeah.
So like a obsidian type
Yeah.
stone.
I mean, it's cool stuff. Very evil looking. Um, but yeah, it's I do think probably Asha's Venerant, looking back at their conversation, because it says, the woman Ishalar, the name sounded familiar for some reason, but Asha couldn't quite place it.
Yeah.
So, so
I mean,
probably.
at
Makes
this
sense.
point I think all of our main characters are veterans.
Yeah, I don't know about weird, but he does need something. 'Cause right now he's the most boring out of the four, to me at least.
Yeah, he needs to get to pounding Dizia or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
They need to get together.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty obvious they're gonna get together. Um, but yeah, like he's just like the like world building politics with like the administration and like the changes to the tenants and like how it does with the world is cool. But it's also like you get that, and you're like, oh yeah, he's having trouble becoming the North Warden, and the administrators are kind of annoyed that he changed the tenants, and you like that, and it's like, Talcamore, I'm a 1,000-year-old time wizard that is regaining all this information, and I'm gonna fight the devil and blah blah blah. And so it's just like weird juxtaposition where it's like I kind of don't give a shit about weird story. It's probably gonna get cool when he finds out whatever his father was doing. You know, looks in the secret apartment. But right now, I'm just like, yeah, okay, you're. Oh no, you have a star-crossed love, and you're a rich kid going to a party, and you almost get assassinated, which was fun. But yeah, he's
So
definitely right now the weakest link to me.
what? All right. Here's a very bold prediction for the end of the series. Okay,
Okay.
the end of the series, the entire series itself, and the years beyond it, all these cycles that go through. I'm gonna say Talcamar was the High King that failed his three tasks. The last one being that he couldn't trust, like he didn't deserve his wife's love, like um and all of this was to prove to the god that he now serves that she does and bring him and to bring her back and everything, and that's what this entire world is about. And Licanius was the seen as the vessel, no pun intended, of achieving this ends. The is the means to this end, and uh, maybe it ends with a murder suicide with with
Okay.
with Licanius, and that ends the the reign of the god demon and freeze the world.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It's just far fetched, like
Like I don't
trying to
even.
think about it is like, why is the series called the Licanius trilogy? Something about the sword that's super fucking important.
Oh
What
yeah,
did that story, that parable story have to do with anything? Um, et cetera, et cetera. So,
yeah. I don't know.
all right, what do you want to move on to next?
Can briefly talk about the characters. So you want? We've already kind of done most of it. Um,
Oh,
Davian. Hmm,
hold on.
you're good.
See, world building. So we know that so quick rapid fire. The Darklands is basically the realm of Shemaloth.
Mhm.
We talked about the Augur Amnesty, the Lith, the Law of Decay, uh, Licanius. The thing about Licanius is it didn't immediately kill anybody, but it prevented them from healing.
Yeah,
So I feel like it severs their connection to essence, prevents them from drawing more. Almost, if you will, like a shard blade does with the soul. But I mean, that kills a person. But very similar, just disconnects their connection to essence.
yeah,
Um, we have the conduit, which we saw Isiliar mash her hands into and scream, and her hands are all burned and everything, but they gave her like supercharger with power. So
yeah.
um, it's like full of essence and raw power, and you can draw from it, which is cool.
Yeah, but only if you're
A
within
god,
yeah.
or essentially a questionable god. You're immortal. Does that make you a god? I don't know. Does it? I mean, and then the other thing I thought was interesting was the rumors about the blind and the boundary, and they're like, yeah, the blind, they're not creatures. They're just descendants of northern Andarans that had been trapped beyond the boundary, and they're like they found a way through the boundary.
They're just wildlings.
Yeah, they're just wildlings that came through the boundary, and they're not demons.
Yeah.
Um, and like the administrators and the tolls like refuse to admit that there's an issue there.
Yep.
Um, so that's not helping our main characters achieve their goal of strengthening the boundary.
Yeah. Who knows if that's even the correct goal to have?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. There's still so much shit we just don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
um
all I had on world building. We
yeah.
kind of talked. Well,
You can
we
go
do other
briefly over the character.
characters.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more I've talked about what I had for the visions and readings. So,
Yeah.
but if you have more, we can bring that up later. Let's go through the characters.
All right. Davian. I mean, not much happens with Davian. He does now have like control of his magic powers, and like the fighting is really cool. His bone with Ishali is interesting, if underdeveloped right now because he doesn't have that much screen time. Uh, Curious to see who he is gonna come in contact with. My prediction is the Shadraheen. We'll see if that's correct. But yeah.
I like the with him. I liked the so they had the bracers in Tolshen that you have the inners, or you have the central ward, the inner ward, and the outer ward.
Mhm.
And it's like divided between how promising and powerful you are with your magics. And with the bracelets, they're basically coded to allow you into certain areas, and they have traces on them. So only the person that has a trace with it can wear it. Otherwise, you get burned by it. I thought that was kind of a cool mechanism.
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Um, yeah, nothing too much happens with Davian. Like he's kind of just the same dude, but he's has his training montage off screen and a little bit on screen. Um,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna learn more about him.
yeah, if he turned out to be a
Oh,
veteran or not.
the other thing with the training that was interesting is the with Khan, when you create something in the world with Khan, the thing that was created first is automatically more powerful. Like if you're not going to break through it in that setup, which I think we're going to find out later that that's not going to be true. It feels like
Yeah,
it's not going to be true, but that's what you're told.
yeah. Oh, I guess also with this little section with Davian is we're getting more and more. We got some of it towards the end with reveals. We're getting more and more like compulsion with Khan and stuff with so I think that's going to continue to keep happening with we kind of knew it at the end with the reveals of who was controlling who, but we're starting to get more and more compulsion, which is interesting.
Yeah, and powerful too, because we don't even know where like Signer himself wasn't even in that room with Weir.
Yeah,
That person that was talking as Signer was just another person that being controlled.
yeah,
And like Weir didn't know that because Weir's never seen Signer.
yeah. Um, so it's very concerning and can lead to some crazy scenarios. Um, you know, Not to bring up wheel time again, but wheel time does have it's called compulsion or control. And they use it very sparingly, except for a couple of characters that use it a lot. So I'm curious how much it's gonna be a thing, and like kind of how are like with the limitations of it and things like that. Um, Going on, Asha, she's kind of the same. Like, a lot of the minor characters don't, not minor characters, the people that aren't Talcamore don't, for me, they haven't really changed. They just get more information. They're just doing
That
stuff.
the funniest thing with her to me is that she became Ilan Alon's like most eligible bachelorette.
That was funny. She's like, what? Um,
Like everybody wants to get with me now.
yeah, that was funny. Um, Curious to see what the reason for the shadows passing out is. Um, and maybe that will have something to do with why future Davian wants to like bring her into charges or some weird thing about that. Who knows? That was really weird. Um, but yeah, she's kind of still herself. No real
What
revelation
if
with the
it's
character.
connected? Because we know that the boundary is fading right now, right? What if the boundary fading in and out is connected with the shadows and whatever magic was done to create the shadows?
Mm.
Um, like
Yeah, it could be something like maybe like part of your soul or whatever is put into the Darklands, and that's why you can't access essence. Uh, that'd be kind of cool. Um, yeah, because like it has to go through the con that eats the essence, so you can't actually access it.
maybe it's a mini barrier. Maybe it's the
Yeah,
same type of magic, right? Maybe it's that
yeah.
kind
Because
of.
we do know from future Davian, she's not always a shadow. So maybe when the she's passing out because yeah, her soul is starting to get reunited.
And don't they use vessels to create shadows?
Yeah, they use like a weird thing.
Yeah, a torque or
Yeah, like it's like a for some reason it's not this, but it's just like I just think of like a Star Trek hypo spray where they put it to your neck and I'm a shadow now. That's not what it looks like, but that's just what my mind went to.
that's what
So
when you put your hand out, that's what my mind went to too.
yeah,
Gosh.
so there's a weird hyper spray that turns you into a shadow. Um, but yeah, her is like rather than like her character changing, it's more like her character evolving into this next phase, like what she's gonna find underneath the catacombs with like these weird echo demon children and weird shit. Um, I did look. The next chapter is her chapter, so we might get answers quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, I saw her name was the first word in that chapter.
Yeah, so we might get her more with the Shateth and like seeing up with that weird prophecy that was told to her in book one. See if she's a Venerate. Makes sense for her to be. I didn't. What's funny is I didn't even think about that, but it makes total sense that they're all these couple of them are Venerates. Um, but yeah, she's still one of a character I really enjoy reading. But she's not in this section that much. Weir. Like I said, he's kind of the weakest section for me because he doesn't really do much, and his like kind of petty politics isn't that interesting. The assassination stuff did kick it up a bunch, and like this quest by Skriner to seek out the information with the vessels. It's a thing I didn't even really think about. I don't know why. About like, oh, these things just appeared 20 years ago, or they like unearthed them, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to.
I
I was
don't remember
confused for a
how.
minute, but it's nobody recollects them existing before 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So like 20 years
So
ago, they just popped up.
yeah, and
Like, oh,
right in coincidence for the augur or the rebellion and all that crazy shit. So probably some another weird time travel shenanigans. I mean, obviously. So that's gonna be really interesting. And I like his relationship with Aditya. Romance is pretty down the totem pole in the series, which I prefer right now. It's not a romantic book, but it's good to have a little bit in there. It's right so far. It's handled better than Wheel of Time. Speaking of that, they
Y'all are
haven't
in
yet.
love now. We hope y'all
Yes,
married now.
you're in love now. Okay, I am in love. That's how they do. That's how he does all of it. It's really funny. But yeah, I think his bodyguard had enough screen time to be somebody. Either probably not a veteran, but anybody can be a veteran now.
His
Um,
his bodyguard Andon gets my athletic feat of the week by surviving a crossbow bolt to the stomach.
yeah,
That's I mean he was healed with essence right after, but there was a time where he
yeah,
wasn't being healed.
yeah, yeah. It's rough. Gut wounds, or hopefully we'll never experience them, but they're said to be some of the worst. But yeah, so just look ahead a little bit. I think Weir is probably my like least favorite moment. None of it's bad. It's just kind of when you're going from getting world altering lore to weird doing shit. It's just not that interesting, unfortunately. But I think probably next book, next recording, he'll probably be like he did some crazy shit, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
Other than yeah,
earlier you mentioned um oh yeah so there was the ambassador Thurin from
yeah,
Desriel who he discovered a gifted spy in the Gilshar.
yeah,
You had mentioned that earlier. I made a note of it. It did not
yeah,
stay in my brain, but it's in my notes.
yeah. It's a tease for something that's gonna be relevant. Either like there's a Venerant in there or something crazy, but we don't know that yet. And I don't think anybody else like cross-pollinated that section.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also a little bit of stuff that we didn't talk about. That there's still they haven't gotten any. Asha hasn't got any information, and Weir hasn't got any information about Terrace and the King's Advisor that we got the reveal last book, but they're doing shady stuff.
Layman.
Yeah, layman's
Yeah,
uh,
layman.
layman's gift.
Layman's gift.
Um. So yeah, I don't
Is that
know.
another nod to it?
That might actually be a nod. It's not exactly a common name.
Uh,
Um.
you mentioned did who did you say you thought Aciliar was?
The fake wife.
Okay, so she's redhead. Wait, no. Oh yeah, Aciliar is a redheaded woman. The person that killed Asar with Licanius was black-haired.
Okay.
So I think,
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, there is shapeshifting in this world, but I could see it. It just, for some reason, the way she talked made me think she was, that they were the same person.
yeah,
Like,
but we
like,
know,
like a thing like we need to stop Talcamar and like what a monster know to stop a monster, that sort of shit. But, I don't know.
but the woman, yeah, I had written a note here that Asar was killed by a woman who may or may not be El, and I said Mashar's wife or Malshash's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she
Yeah.
had black hair and he
Yeah,
wore
that there.
short shorts.
Yeah, I mean,
She's team captain. He's team captain, and she's on the bleachers.
sure. No, get the reference.
Huh?
But yeah,
It's a
seems.
song. I
Mm,
think it's a Taylor Swift song.
okay. But yeah, it seems like Melshesh and Takam are the same person, like I said. So yeah, it's It's interesting. So yeah, I got that one wrong. But we don't really know anything about Ilshalar, except she's a little crazy. Which
Oh,
would be
there
fun.
was one other thing. Ah, fuck. It left my brain. It was there. Oh, it was there and then it went away. Oh,
Man,
damn it. Ah.
well, see if it comes back. That's it for characters. We didn't really get too much of any like tertiary characters. So
Oh,
like,
Alchesh. There was a vision that was given um that Talcamar saw, and it was Alchesh. I think Cassandra gave him the vision um of Alchesh screaming in agony and pain, and he was in the Darklands. And Alchesh is the guy that wrote the about the prophecy of the person that would come and stop our kind of aid.
hmm,
We got that information from book one that the monk that was Terrace's friend that died,
okay,
the two of them thought that Davian was this person that Alchesh prophesied.
okay.
So we got another thing of Alchesh.
Yeah. Hmm. Uh, yeah.
That was the thing that I lost for a second and came back.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. I forgot about that. Yeah, this series definitely does seem like it's meant to be reread. Um,
I'll
and
probably
it'll make
reread
it
it. As of this point, I feel like I would reread it.
probably. It depends on how it ends for me. Book three in particularly, if it all comes together. Which I mean, it's a popular series, so I hope it does. But yeah, as far as other characters, there's not really that many tertiary characters that get much screen time. Like we don't get the princess doesn't Kate Carolyn doesn't get any screen time. We don't get
DT's
any.
brother,
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's
yeah,
mentioned.
I don't even think he was mentioned at all.
Yeah, in DTA you get like one little scene with her. I
No, you
think
get
she
two.
two. Yeah.
You get two because the king at the end, it was the king came in and was like, "Hey, why is she so familiar with you?" Like, oh, I
Mm,
get it.
yeah.
I get it, nephew.
I think she's going with Weird to his estate, but I could be wrong. Makes
I,
sense for her to go.
I think so.
Yeah. I think they said that, but I could just be making that up. So yeah, and then
Is his
like
mom dead?
no. He's gonna go meet his mom and his like
Okay. I
younger
couldn't
brother, I think.
remember. I couldn't remember who, but
Yeah, no.
it's the
They're
Tell Wrath
yeah.
estate.
Yeah, they're estranged from I think when his father died. So recently estranged. But we're gonna definitely get more family drama
Like
in the next
2 months estranged.
I think so. Maybe not. I don't know. It could be also that when she found out that he was a magic user, she cut him off too. Um, but
I can
we'll
see
definitely
that.
get to more family drama. Um, trying to add, I mean, we got a little bit of Ishali with Davian. I assume she's going to be more prominent in the book going forward. And then, of course, all the veteran that we got of. But other than that, that's kind of all the characters that did much. Not a lot of Terrace so far.
No.
So I'm curious if he's going to show back up. I mean, I assume he will. Um, yeah, the guy I'm most looking forward to is meeting the dude that was in the coffin. See who he was.
Yeah, that's yeah, coffin.
Yeah,
It was like a weird Iron Maiden type coffin.
yes, it was pretty sweet. Basically, characters I want to meet is him and whoever kidnaps Davian.
Whoever
Um,
kidnaps Davian, the guy in the coffin.
yeah,
I want to. I want to see where Asha ends up because we know
Hmm.
she's not going to die, but
Yeah,
how does she get herself out of that dark
yeah.
place?
I'm gonna
And
go. I need
then
to go. Yeah,
the the study, what Weir's going to find in the study, I think is going
yeah.
to be interesting. I think that's going to make him way more interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I wrote down here as a prediction that there's going to be a vessel in the study
Mm.
with a telling. So it's going to be like a magical mind projection story that's going to allow Weir to see something.
I can see that. Um. Oh yeah, I was saying I'm gonna go back and read the part in book one where future Davrian talks to Asha because he warned her not to go somewhere, and I don't remember what that was. And I have a feeling that's going to come up pretty soon, so I'm going to go back and read that part. Um, because that part was crazy, and I need to refresh myself on that. Yeah, that's all the characters I got. Um, you know, bro, what you got for theme? You got anything fun for theme?
Yeah, so we already talked about the writing and
Yeah.
everything. Um, the biggest thing that I see is like a preservation or destruction of knowledge.
Mm,
And like the conflicting idea of knowing too little versus too much being dangerous, and which one is more dangerous and which one's less dangerous. And it seems like they've done all of these approaches in different cycles.
yeah.
Um, the destruction of the library and Dalilanas is kind of disconcerting.
Yeah.
Uh, the loss or the lack of memory of vessels is kind of there too. Talkamar's whole plan of wiping his memory out and then only like being shown certain memories at certain times so
Yeah.
that he can go through with his plan because like you know I feel like part of his plan is dependent on him not being emotionally attached to a hard decision.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting aspect where it's like kind of get into like what makes a person like if are you still the same person if you have different memories or not? Kind of so like Talcamar became worthy of Licanius by getting rid of his like Alchemy Divide memories and stuff, becoming this like more pure Caden character and was able to get that. And it's an interesting thing to think about, like what makes you you. Is it your memories or is it something greater than that? Which I kind of get into.
And does that, you know, leading into like redemption, right?
Hmm.
Does your lack of remembering, what the fuck? Remembering um what you did or believed in the past, does that, open up the door for redemption for you? Or
Yeah,
is it like, oh, well, this fleshly mech suit right here did these crimes. They have no memory of it. They have a totally different personality now, but we're still going to, give them the death penalty.
yeah,
Is I mean, that's kind of a moral philosophical question that I've never thought of before.
yeah. It reminds me of so this really good sci-fi show from the '90s called Babylon 5. They had a kind of like a death penalty, but it was called the death of personality. So they would just kind of mind wipe you and give you new memories, and like they would like kind of program you to be like self-serving, like going to like missionary work or like be like a good person. But so like they would do that to like violent criminals. That's pretty messed up.
But then if you go further and you saying that prompted another thought line of, if we rehabilitate people, right? Are the whole goal of rehabilitating somebody is to change their way of thinking and rewrite their moral compass or something like that, right? So
Mm.
if they are mind wiped, then hey, goal succeeded, mission succeeded. There we go. They are redeemed, right?
Yeah, is one way to do it, and then you have the moral quandary is that technically killing them, killing somebody, or I would say yes. But yeah, it's really cool. If you want a less heady version of this topic, you should watch the movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. 'Cause that also deals with it, and it's really fun. Watch that movie. It's kind of like that for themes.
That also kind of makes me think of, I mean, all my grandparents are dead now. Um, all of them dealt with some form of dementia or Alzheimer's, in various different forms and presentations.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it just as somebody on the outside watching this, or as me watching people deal with these diseases, it's I don't it's kind of disconcerting, a disconcerting feeling when you walk up to somebody and you recognize them, they sound the same, but there's no, like, the personality is different, the memories aren't there. um and like specifically with, like the most interaction I've had was like with my grandfather, that recently passed. And anytime I went and visited him, um, I got the sense that he knew that I was somebody that he loved, and it was obvious that I knew him and loved him. And so it seemed like he was like, I should be nice. I should be loving and talk and answer questions, even though I don't know who this person is.
Yeah,
It might be scary in his brain too. Is like, why is this person here? Like, why does this person know so much about me? This is weird. Like, I just want them to leave. I mean, that could be one thing, but anyway, that's
yeah,
that's
it's
my
great.
deep personal talk for this episode.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. You know that even something like you get like head trauma, you could become a different person type deals. It's pretty crazy. On that cheery note, let's talk about the athletic feat of the week. You put yours as being able to move and not die while having a crossbow bolt in your gullet, which is a good one. Uh, Mine is athletic feat by doing nothing, which is being so still that you don't get caught by a devil child and eaten. Uh, I think that's pretty athletic to control your breathing and your panic and your body. And that was really creepy. So that's mine. Um, so also, since there's this magic, but it was also a cool moment, and it took athleticism to walk. Davian time walking behind the elder was pretty crazy. I like that moment a lot. Yeah, that's my
I
athletic feat of the
forgot
week.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he just like appears by him. He's like, augurs don't need protection. The dude's like, oh my, like shits himself. It's really funny. Um,
Yeah, I forgot that happened, but then when you mentioned it, I remembered the aftermath of it, where like Ishelle is like, maybe you shouldn't do that.
yeah, but she's also like, yeah, they kind of needed to know that we're not children and just do we could destroy them if we wanted to. Um, but yeah, what's your favorite moment of the reading?
All right. I'm going to say my favorite moment. I have a couple written down, but I'm going to pick this one, and
Hmm.
then you can say yours.
Yeah,
It was the moment where Asar was killed by the mysterious woman with Licanius,
yeah,
and then Tal had to escape with the through the portal box. I thought that was kind of climactic and
mhm,
um, maybe emotional.
yeah. Yeah, that's a
Because
good one.
I was expecting Asar to be around a little bit longer, but
Yeah,
now Talcamar's all alone in the world.
he'll come back as Aesar the White.
He's leveled up.
He's leveled up. Yeah, that's a good one. Because yeah, definitely did kick off stuff. Because you're like, all right, we're gonna do another Davian where he is in a demi plane learning about shit for 100 pages. It's like, nope, we're gonna speed this up. That's a good one. Uh, there's a lot of good stuff. Honorable mention, I'll say the the athletic fee of the week with Asha and the double child and that whole her meeting him and her meeting the other Venerate and the Shateth was really cool. But I'll probably put the basically all the Talcumar flashbacks. Meeting uh
Cassandra,
Cassandra,
Ariel.
Andrel, and meeting the whole wife flashback with like, figuring out how she was created, who she is and stuff, which is all really cool. Um,
I did love the when he was telling the story about hunting the creatures and like they're pack creatures, and once you disturb one, all the others are aware of it, so you got to do it quickly.
yeah,
But then you get stabbed and like he'll die, but then wake up a little bit later and a few of them are dead and he redoes the whole thing and he goes back
yeah,
to town
and
where
then
his his body has no holes, but his clothes are all stabbed
yeah,
through.
and like killing one of them makes you like enough money for like to be rich for a year, and he's killed like a bunch of them. Yeah, I guess I wonder if those creatures still exist, and we're gonna like beat them.
And I feel like they mentioned that him doing that in the first book too.
Yeah,
I felt like there was something about those creatures in the first book.
I could see that.
Maybe it was the wedding flashback.
I could see. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's probably my ones. I mean, it was kind of three different moments, but just kind of learning more about Atalkamar and getting maybe not the full storyline, but kind of starting to understand what the main plot is.
Yeah, I think it opened up the book in a way where I guess open up isn't the word. It gave more purpose and answered questions.
Yeah,
Um, whereas the first book was like, hey, we're gonna open up a lot of things for you and you're not gonna know what they are.
yeah. Because if
Okay.
yeah, if the book hadn't started to coalesce some things, if we were still just like, yeah, they're just kind of doing stuff, I don't really know, like it would start to lose you because it was starting to lose me in the last book. But even then, we started to get a little bit of information. Now we're getting more and more. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the first book is mostly kind of like any of the epilogues in Stormlight Archives, where
Yeah,
you're like, all right, well, whatever
stuff's
that means.
happening.
Like,
It sounds important. I'll learn about that later.
like
Yeah,
I love that we all agreed that the like you could have anybody just like that's never read any Cosmere, you go give them book 5 of Stormlight and make them read the prologue, and they won't understand anything that's in it,
yeah,
and they won't like you won't really even remember it whenever you
no,
start to go read the first book.
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's kind of
like it
crazy.
spoils a lot, but it doesn't spoil a lot if you don't
Yeah,
know.
Exactly. That's kind of how I feel like book one's gonna be on a reread, where you're like, oh shit, that's what they're doing, blah blah, which is gonna be fun. Like I said, my least favorite moments I've already talked about is kind of like the beginning weird stuff. It just, I see why it exists to kind of like bring you up to speed with his life and stuff. It just wasn't as interesting as the rest of the book. Um,
Yeah, I mean the the dinner scene, the assassin scene was fun as hell. It
yeah,
was actually really good, but compared to everything else, his storyline was the weakest in this section of the book.
yeah. Even then, like we have this segment. I don't think it's like terrible. It was just kind of like if I had to pick something.
Right. That's why it's called least favorite.
Yes, not absolute dog shit. It's the moment of
Yeah.
book.
All right, now for a new section. What's your absolute dog shit moment?
Mm. But yeah.
That time he wrote the word "the."
Oh, that was really terrible. His grammar in this section. I'm so glad I'm not a grammar Nazi.
Yeah,
But like, cause like, yeah, having that bother you sounds like hell.
yeah. I will say when I'm reading, like what a lot of times, most of the time, I read every word and I try to go, okay. But there there's times where I can't tell if something's a typo
Hmm.
or if I'm just not understanding the sentence that's written
Yeah,
because the word that exists there and another word that I think could exist there both fit into the sentence, but it
Hmm.
changes the meaning of the sentence in
Yeah,
in drastic ways where I'm like, what the fuck? I can't decide this now.
I can see that. Yeah, me for me, reading's weird. Like I kind of like just it like beams itself into my brain where I'm reading the words, but I'm like not reading them at the same time. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's like I don't usually, unless it's like really, really bad, and like I'm just like, what? Like, what happened? Did I skip a paragraph? And it's like, oh no, it was just confusing, which we've called out several times in this podcast. But for the most part, I'm just like Sanderson, I'm just like, it just like beams itself into my brain the way he writes.
Yeah, I mean, I get confused too.
Yeah.
Lots of times I'll miss something or I'll misunderstand something. Um, but so now that we're done with this book,
Yeah.
or not book, but this section of the book in the podcast discussion. So speaking of reading, when did you start like really reading books though?
Pretty young. Probably like 9 or 10. Like reading like chat like I was reading like Wheel of Time and like at like Sacred Hearts. That would be what, like middle school?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
so I was always interested in stories, but as a younger kid, I didn't like to sit and read.
Hmm.
I had ADHD. It was hard for me to focus, um, and all this stuff. But in high school, like my biggest memories of reading were my earliest memories of actually like reading was in high school when I was reading a bunch of different Star Wars Expanded Universe novels.
Yeah.
Rip, they're not canon anymore.
Oh
Um,
no.
Still some great stories.
There are.
But then when I actually started diving into fantasy and like specific, especially fantasy and more sci-fi and just like reading a whole lot was freshman year of college. And I decided I was going to read Lord of the Rings for the first time. And I picked it up. I've got the hardback trilogy of all three together in one volume. I remember picking that up off my parents' shelf, and I wore Jinko jeans at the time, so they had those giant ass pockets. That book could fit in the back pocket. Let me get it.
Nice.
This This thing,
Yeah,
I was carrying this around in the back pocket of my Jinko
jeez,
jeans
that's pretty
and
crazy.
reading it. Like, I mean, you can see like the spine is a little bit like bent.
It's a little bit, yeah.
Like,
It's well loved.
yeah, I carried it around everywhere.
But yeah, I read a lot as a kid. I started off reading those like as a pretty young. I don't know if you did heard about them. They're basically like Scooby-Doo mystery novels, but it's like my teacher is a werewolf or something like that.
I may have heard of them.
But they're very young. But then I like graduated to like Redwall. I read all the Redwalls like religiously. I reread them all so many freaking times. We should do one of those someday if you haven't read them. They're really good. Um,
I remember reading Goosebumps.
yeah, I read Goosebumps. You know, yeah, so I did like that, and then like I graduated to like Wheel of Time, Shannara, the like Dragonlance and Deathgate Cycle and stuff from them, and then like later on, also like Terry Goodkind, Wizard's First Rule, all that stuff, and then uh George R. R. Martin, things like that. Kind of kind of read Game of Thrones kind of late high school, early college, and then I reread them like 3 or 4 times until the fourth book killed my interest in the series. And it's a good thing it did because he put out one more book and never again. Yeah, that's kind of my reading journey. As a kid or whatever, I'd like stay up late reading. So yeah, I don't know if it's just because I've done it for so many years, it just kind of like bleeds into my brain, and I don't really get the essence of it. It depends. Sometimes, yeah, I can recognize really beautiful prose. Like when I was reading War and Peace, there's a couple of really good like sections of that with the actual writing was like, oh shit, this is really good. So it depends, but normally I just kind of like absorb the book.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to do podcasts like this is to increase my, comprehension and understanding and the way I think about books when reading them.
Mm. Yeah.
I still enjoy them, but my mind starts to think more like it's hard to explain, right? So like before, most of the time when I read a book, I'd just be reading and taking in the story and not most of the time not trying to solve mysteries and give an answer to foreshadowing and things like that and
Yeah.
just be like, all right, whatever comes is going to come.
Just
And even
receive the
now,
story.
yeah, and even now, a lot of times I can't pick, like I have severe analysis paralysis, so
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I think this could be this or this or this, but like I have a hard time picking one and saying, yep, that's the way I think it'll go.
Mm.
I'm just like, well, it could be, and I'm here for whichever one it is.
Yeah.
Because the author wrote this story and that's the story they wanted to tell. It's like most of the time my brain goes, yeah,
Yeah, that's in my opinion the correct way to do it most of the time. Unless the author like severely hints at something and then just doesn't do it, then you'll feel cheated. But for the most part, I'm like, yeah, I'll let the story come to me, and I'll have my own kind of inkling suspicions of where stuff could goes, but try not to like like you don't really want to like write the story because then you're kind of just because then when it's not what you think it's gonna be, you get disappointed.
yeah. I will say,
Which is kind of what happened for me a little bit in Wind and Truth. Whereas I had an expectation for what that book was gonna be, and then it wasn't that, and I was just like, this book, I hate this book. And even if I think it's if I didn't have that expectation, I still wouldn't like the book, but I probably wouldn't hate it as vehemently as I do, or I will never read that book again.
yeah, there's not going into any spoilers, but somewhere in the middle section of Wheel of Time, there's a mystery that's had some of the biggest theories about. Um, but it's that one's a weird one because like it's not the answer to the mystery was not crucial to anything.
No.
And it was just there, and you're like, well, why? Why was this never explained in a certain manner? Like,
Yeah, I think he
and
just
I think you
didn't.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a certain character dies,
Yeah.
and it's a mystery about who kills the character. Um, I think Robert Jordan just didn't really care. He's like, I don't know, I did something cool at the end of a book. Like, who cares? So it then became a whole because I never really cared who killed this character or whatnot. I was just like, yeah, this character's dead. Maybe it'll come up, and it never did. Well, it comes up later on, but yeah, it's interesting how expectations can color your perception of material. Game of Thrones season 8, well, probably not nearly as good if you have no expectations, but everybody was super hyped for it, and then it crashed and burned. So the your perception of where the quality should be to where the quality is, a certain gap, it feels way worse than if it was just kind of mid expectations and turns to crap. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a weird tangent we went on at the end of this
Hey, we
podcast.
were talking about reading and what
We
got
are
us
talking
into
about
reading
reading.
and our comprehension. So,
Yeah.
um, but
You
yeah, if
can,
y'all made it this far, thank y'all so
yeah.
much. There's buttons down there, somewhere just along down here. You can click like, follow, subscribe, share. You can comment. Tell
Yeah.
us when you started reading. Tell
Yeah.
us your
If you
predictions.
like this weird tangent, we could probably spin this off into a little small podcast of its own, talking about how we read and our perceptions, what we see in our mind's eye when we read, things like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Chris would love that. I,
Yeah.
Lynette might like that.
True.
Um, so yeah, do that. Uh, Share it. Leave a rating and review where you can. That'd be cool. And of course, visit our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers. Don't forget to use the code Paperweights at checkout, and you'll save yourself 15%. And we will see y'all next episode when we read through chapter 22. That's
Yep.
what I said. So when
Yep.
you get to the page that says chapter 23, stop. And we shall see you next time.
Bye.